Hello, my beloved friends. So, today I have channeled the Metatron Magnetic Consciousness and asked about CERN laboratories. Okay, now for those who do not know about CERN, CERN is actually a underground lab which is conducting experiments to create something known as antimatter, and they are doing this by colliding two protons together. I believe that, right? uh, at a high speed, and because of the collision, something known as antimatter is created. And also, in today's session, Metatron has said that this antimatter and this CERN laboratory could in fact be a gateway or a portal for the towards the negative density. Okay, I will explain to you in detail after you watch the session, after the video. And in the session, Metatron also talks about Stephen Hawking. So for those who do not know, Stephen Hawking was a scientist who recently, he passed away. And he has also, Metatron has also mentioned about Stephen Hawking. So watch this session, and after that I am going to explain to you what I understand from the session.
I am Metatron Magnetic Consciousness, and I greet you in the divine love and the light of the divine great programmer. Today, this instrument has requested to understand the meaning behind the so-called experiments happening on the laboratories known in your language terms as CERN, and what could happen and what is happening on the CERN laboratories, which as many of your people already know in their mind distortion. As one of the world's largest scientific research facilities located at your time-space location coordinates of Switzerland, as known in your language terms. On that research facility, many of your so-called scientists have been able to create the so-called antimatter complex that is considered to be the single most energetic source of energy stream available to your people because of its 100% efficiency, unlike many other methods, and it does not create any pollution or radiation complex. Also, please understand that this antimatter complex can be used for negative purposes by the negative entities, and if so, can be used as a nuclear weapon, because even a small quantity of this substance complex could be equivalent to 19 kilotons of nuclear bomb, as known in your language terms. Further, please understand that this substance is a highly volatile substance that is being tampered with on your planet. This is being achieved by the collision of the so-called protons, as known in your language terms, and the collision of these protons causes or creates many tiny so-called quantum substances known as antimatter complex, along with black holes, as known by your people. These tiny black holes are not usually formed during this process. However, at certain instances, they could be formed. Many of these black holes are instantaneously dissipated, and they decay instantaneously without causing any danger. However, due to the possibility of diversity in the universe of time-space nexus, it could create a black hole that would sustain itself. Even if it is a tiny black hole, it can lead to the other side of the cosmos that is in fact a mirror replica of this current world, wherein everything is opposite. If you enter this black hole and enter into the other side, you will see a world with opposite letters. And instead of standing, you would be walking on the ceiling. Everything would be opposite in this other side of the black hole, such created by artificial means. We have many a times ventured and have discovered that there are worlds, and worlds that are in the negative polarization inside such black holes. For example, if your planet would enter into such black holes, it would enter and reverse itself into the negative fourth density polarization, even though it is now in the positive polarization. This means an exact replica would be created in the negative cycle, and all positive beings will become negative on the other side of this mirror dimension illusion complex. In addition, please note that currently, due to the quarantine which is in place on your planet, other entities, either the positive or the negative, are not allowed to directly infringe upon your planetary sphere. Furthermore, no entity can penetrate the veil because the energies of love and light, which the divine great programmers have created and which has been created around your planet, cannot be penetrated by even the strongest of these negative entities till the present. Furthermore, remember that the creation of such a black hole complex inside your planetary sphere could allow the entry to these negative entities directly into your planetary dimension, which means that on the other side of these black holes lie the negative dimension or the negative density. Furthermore, all the so-called demonic entities and the inorganic entities which are of self-service nature and which want to spread propaganda of fear may enter into your planet unknowingly without even your people having any knowledge of these happening through such black holes. This would cause many of the entities on your planet to roam around. And let me tell you that this event has not yet happened on your planet as far as I am aware of your vibration complex of your planet's timeline. Yet, because many a times the black hole complexes have been created, but they have diffused and decayed instantaneously. However, there could be a possibility, as per the infinite possibilities, that in the future, if this experiment of your kind continues, that this could create the so-called black hole complex that would sustain itself, allowing these inorganic entities to enter into your planet and spread the agenda of negative distortion amongst your people without your people having any knowledge of these happenings. If this happens, the so-called black hole complex would immediately try to consume matter and gravity and would also try to become larger and larger as it begins to consume your planetary materials. And if this black hole is successful in consuming all of your planet as a whole, it will create a replica of it in the negative density. On the opposite side, this would mean that your planet would spiral into the fourth density negative on the opposite density consciousness. Ponder this, that everything is gravity and matter is only apparent. Your consciousness interpretation creates matter. That by this knowledge it creates the other two language terms, the time and the antimatter complex. So the main thing that exists in the universe is gravity. Something in the consciousness of the observer on your planet, we may state, creates a group of gravity in constant motion, which can be interpreted as objective reality as known by your people. Furthermore, understand that all places in this material world, in every plane and every planet, have an immersion into this energy of potential gravitational flow, which composed of energetic values that are always changing and each one moving upward with its own harmonics or frequency. This is called space-time or a physical plane, and every place has major energy connections and concentrations such as the nodes and energy centers and the portals. Many people on your planet have been using this energy compound in order to increase the technology and create powerful devices on your planets. This so-called CERN lab could have a potential of 5% chance of creating a portal into this negative density consciousness. Also, I must state that another entity who had been on your time-space term that has crossed over from your planetary sphere, known in your language terms as Stephen Hawking, knew about the dangers of this experiment and had warned your people about this fact. The coming of this event will be surprising to many on your planet if it happens due to the possibilities and vortices in your time-space nexus terms of your illusion complex. Therefore, I leave you now in the divine love and in the light of the divine great programmer, and turn to the mountain of light, Yaron.
So my friends, after watching the session, I also watched the session, and after watching the session, I understood that CERN, they are doing this experiment of creating antimatter, and antimatter is a very rare substance. Okay, as I did some search on Google about antimatter, and antimatter seems to be a very rare substance, and antimatter also has the ability of, if it comes in contact with matter. So right now we are in matter, right? So antimatter is not matter in essence. So if antimatter comes in contact with matter, there will be a explosion, they are saying in Google. Okay, I searched, and it is more powerful than any atomic bomb ever created. A small amount of antimatter could destroy a large amount of area, they are saying. Okay, and antimatter is also very costly, I have seen. So CERN laboratories, they are creating this antimatter substance, and Metatron said in the session that this collision of particles at a high speed, at approximately the speed of light, they are doing this. They are colliding the protons. Protons cannot be seen by our eyes. Okay, they cannot even be seen by the highest electron microscope, as known by a people. They are very small, smaller than the smallest particle. They are a part of the atoms. So these particles, when they collide at the light speed, there is something known as black holes are created as a product, they are saying. Okay, Metatron has said, and these black holes, they last for only certain amount of time. Okay, but there could be a possibility that this black hole could also sustain itself, and then I believe this is what Metatron said. The black hole could suck in gravity and matter and could sustain itself and become bigger and bigger. And on the other side of the black hole would be found the negative dimension, or the mirror dimension, they said. Okay, so if a person goes through a black hole, then everything will be opposite. For example, if a person, if like a human being goes through such a black hole, we are standing here, in that dimension the person would be opposite. So the ground would become the ceiling and everything would be opposite, Metatron is saying. And also the density changes, which I found was really incredible. I never thought about this. In such a black hole, okay, if an entity goes through, if a positive entity goes through such a black hole, it will become negative because everything is opposite, right? So Metatron said that, I hope this does not happen in the future, because Metatron also said that it could happen anytime. Okay, if they are conducting the experiment, it could happen anytime and people will not even have time to know what is coming because it happens so fast, Metatron said. Okay, and I found that it's like really scary. I mean, kind of like scary to know that any moment you could be like sucked into a black hole. And this is all because of the experiment they are doing. Now I don't have any like problem with CERN. Well, I mean, they can do it, but I hope they will take precautions to not allow such events to happen. And Metatron has stated that there is 5% chance such a black hole could be created during such experiments. So I believe CERN CERN scientists will take care of this in the future, if they know about this. And also Stephen Hawking. Okay, I will show you what I found out on the internet after searching. Stephen Hawking has said that the antimatter or the God particle could lead to the destruction of the universe. This is almost the same thing Metatron is saying right now, okay, but in a different manner. And also Metatron has stated that through such black holes, since such black holes lead to the mirror dimension, it could allow negative entities such as the demonic entities who are on the negative dimension. Because look, here we are on the positive density and behind the black hole is the negative density. So right now we are in the fourth density, positive first sub-octave. We are going up, and when we pass through the black hole, we will turn into fourth density, negative sub-octave. That is what the Metatron said. It's a mirror replica of the universe that exists here, okay? And also in the negative there are many demonic entities, many like entities like Luciferian beings, inorganic beings. They could travel through such a black hole and come to Earth without even knowing. Okay, Metatron is saying if the black holes they sustain for a short time, it can be used as a portal by these negative and demonic entities to visit Earth, and no one will even notice, Metatron said. Okay, maybe because they may not be visible to our eyes, just like we cannot see the protons, the atoms, we cannot see that. We cannot even see bacteria, right? But they exist, we know. In a similar manner, if such beings come through a portal like that in CERN laboratories, the scientists would not have any idea that they are coming. Okay, and it could be really like a dangerous situation could happen, like demonic entities coming in from CERN, and spreading their negative agenda, influencing people into the negative cycle, and doing crazy things. Till today, okay, Metatron has said that there is a quarantine on Earth which does not allow any entity to directly infringe. So no matter the positive or the negative, they will not come directly to Earth. They cannot come because of the protection that has been granted by, I believe, it is by the Council of Nine or the Galactic Federation. I think they are the same. They have granted this protection. And also I believe that this protection has been put in place to allow Earth to evolve in our own free will, okay, with our own free will. So this is what I understood from the session, and I thank you all so much for watching the video, and thank you all so much for supporting me on Patreon, and also thank you for being open-minded and listening to stuff that is different, because many people are not that open-minded. Like in my area, in my place, not many people are open-minded, okay, like you all are. And I thank you all so much for watching the video. So see you in the next session.